Well, Bengals Sunday training camp in the books, and Skinny, a surprise no-show on the field. Germaine Burton dealing with an undisclosed injury today.
Yeah, and I don't know what undisclosed injury that could be, to be honest with you. I mean, it makes you harken back to wonder, is there something going on there? Was he late for a meeting? Did he not show up today? I mean, let's not forget, yesterday's practice, I'm sure you felt it. I know I felt it last night. The heat just wiped me out completely, and I wasn't out there practicing yesterday. So I can imagine, you had a late practice yesterday. Heat gets to you. You have an early morning today. Does he answer the bell this morning? Did he not answer the bell? I mean, the fact that he wasn't out here and then we come up with an undisclosed injury, I didn't see him get hurt yesterday. I mean, I can't say that it wasn't that because I don't know that for a fact, but when you put the 2 and 2 of the person with past problems together, it would make you wonder if it's something worse. I hope not. If that's the case and we find him out here, standing out here on Tuesday or on the rehab field, that's fine. I mean, I saw Mike Gesicki with his hamstring injury working on the rehab field. I saw Eric All working on, I've seen guys with injuries out on the rehab field. I mean, if it's really a bad injury, then what is it? Why is it undisclosed? To me, it's just too fishy, and I'm sorry that I can't believe that. I mean, I guess I have to because that's the statement they put out. But again, his past history doesn't give him much benefit of the doubt in that regard, because all of a sudden you look around and literally I think as a group we go, oh, where's Germaine Burton? And if it had been something, I guess, other, initially, was it going to be just an absence, and what was that absence for? And I don't know, man. I'm just not buying it. And
it seems odd, and again, don't want to speculate, and you want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but with other injuries in camp, it seems like, coaching staff has been so open in telling us this is the injury, we're taking it day to day, week to week, or they'll be back on the field in this moment. So it just seems a little odd. And again, you don't want to speculate that this is just a day to day with an undisclosed injury.
And what stinks is he's had such a good camp. And I think we've talked about this at times during this podcast of his story was shaping up to be a great redemption story of a guy who did have issues off the field, on the field. At times last year when you would try to talk to him, he looked like a zombie. Now he looks like a person. I mean, there's real eyes there, and there's life to him, and he's been on time. I talked to wide receivers coach Troy Walters, and he's been in his playbook, and he said last year I'd have to tell him on every play where to line up, and now he knows where to line up. He knows where to come out of his breaks. He knows the routes he's supposed to run. And so I hope that the redemption story can continue for the person. But again, for those of us in this business, it's just hard not to put the 2 and 2 together and go, wait, is there more? And listen, if the coaching staff decides this is how they want to handle this, and he was late to a meeting, and they've given him now an umpteenth chance, there can't be many more chances in the book for the kid.
All right, now let's shift over to the guys that were on the field today and the defense. They had a day that they needed after the performance on Thursday night.
Yeah, other than one drive, and they did a lot of start almost down by your own goal line and drive the whole field. The offense had one good drive in which Joe Burrow finished it off with a touchdown pass to Chase Brown. But I think the first, 3 or 4 series, it wasn't 3 and outs, but it wasn't much field gained out from the goal line. We saw Myles Murphy be active and make a play in the backfield. We saw a couple of balls tipped away in the secondary. So yeah, I think that was a good bounce back performance. And again, a lot of that came against the first team group.
What did you see out of Demetrius Knight today? Obviously, he was a guy who just got his first NFL experience on Thursday. Didn't go the way that he would have wanted it to go in his first time going against another team. What have you seen from him on the practice field since?
Yeah, he had another pass batted down today. It was a Joe Burrow pass across the middle in which he showed again that athleticism to reach across and knock it away. I think for him it's just a matter of getting more real NFL reps in. I mean, it's one thing to do it in camp and show some things he's shown in camp, and then suddenly the game speed, no matter how much you try to simulate it out here, right, it's completely different. And especially for a linebacker where there's so many reads and so many keys you have to read and so much nuance to it that you just can't take your first inclination and go. I think as the more he gets, the more the game is going to slow down for him. I mean, he even talked about from his time back in OTA, the very first practice, running around like a chicken with his head chopped off, just knowing I need to run somewhere. And now once camp hit, knowing, okay, I need to run there. Well, then you get the game speed, and now it's I need to go here, I need to be there. And I think you're going to see this kid have a really good rookie year.
All right, the defense is obviously the big topic of conversation heading into the season. The other one is the offensive line. There are some battles for the guard position. As Dan Pitcher talked about after practice, the swing tackle is another topic of conversation. What are you seeing shaping up in this offensive line?
Yeah, so they've mixed and matched this week. Lucas Patrick has kept that first-team right guard reps. He had, when camp started, it was Cody Ford at right guard. Lucas was taking a lot of snaps as the backup center. I think that was just to get him some reps there, because that might be his role on a game day, is to be the backup guard, backup center position, both. Then he's transformed into being the #1 right guard at the moment. It felt like they'd go back to Cody, right, and give Cody chances. Well, they've last couple of practices, they flipped Jalen Rivers to guard and Cody Ford to tackle. And Dan, to your point, mentioned, they're trying to get guys different reps at these spots. I mean, you want to see on game day, is Cody Ford my swing tackle? Is Jalen Rivers my swing tackle? Is Devin Cochran my swing tackle? They want to see Jalen Rivers at guard. I mean, maybe when push comes to shove, he's the best option at right guard. I don't think that's the case yet, but I don't think it's a bad thing to start cross-training all these guys. And really, you're down to, in my opinion, one position to worry about from a starting spot. I mean, you're both tackles. We know who they are. Ted Karras, we know who he is. I think Dylan Fairchild has really solidified that left guard spot. So you're talking about the right guard. You're talking about one position. And I think that's a good thing because it does allow you then to go, all right, Cody Ford, let's get you some reps at tackle too, because on game day, maybe you're that Swiss Army knife you were last year. It's a good problem to have. You wish you had, 5 all-pro guys or Pro Bowlers across the board. You're never going to have that. But if you're going to tell me I got 4 solid starters and I'm shaky a little bit at right guard, I think I'd take it and run with it.
Well, looking at that spot, obviously you mentioned Lucas Patrick. He's been getting a lot of those first-team reps, so seems like we can see where the coach's mind is at. But where have you seen them? Obviously, Thursday night he had some missed blocks. He had the chop block penalty as well. Where do you see this competition at right now?
Yeah, I mean, penalties are a thing that he's had a problem with in the past, and chop block was kind of iffy, but it is what it is. And he had a couple of reps, as Dan Pitcher mentioned, he'd like to have back. But for all the hand-wringing on the internet about how he played, and again, coaches are never going to roll a player under the bus, but hearing from Zach yesterday and hearing from Dan Pitcher today, I think they think there's a positive step forward from Lucas Patrick. And he only got the offense only had 14 snaps, so it's not like he had a big sample size of good or bad. We just need to see more of it. I think at this point, where you are in camp, I do think you'll probably see Cody get some first-team reps before this week's out. It's a long week, obviously, of practice till they play again a week from tomorrow. And again, it wouldn't shock me to see Cody get the start at right guard in that game just for evaluation's sake, but I think it would tell you if Lucas Patrick gets the start, then he's pretty much solidified that starting spot.
All right, there you have it from Bengals training camp today. Like you mentioned, a week from tomorrow in Washington playing the Commanders. The Bengals have the day off tomorrow, but we'll have coverage for you throughout the rest of the week leading up to that game.